Welcome back. All right, so the next thing we need to do is we need to add in the correct logic. So in order to do that, we need to go to our override function touches began, and below that we'll add in a function we'll call this, we can call this touched node logic, and we'll add in our own function here. So within this, for touches, we'll say touch node is equal to node at point, and you want to make sure, so touch node is equal to node, and it should come up here, node at point. And this point will be touch location. And then we'll call our touch node logic. So we have our node, and then the touch node, if it happens to be the node at the touch location, then we'll call the touch node logic. And in here, we'll say that, for example, if touch node dot name does not equal correct. So remember how we set up all those other ones here, incorrect 0, incorrect 1, incorrect 2. We're going to go, and I'm actually going to go to the bottom here and set up a couple of functions here. We'll say function, we'll say game over logic, and we'll set this up because we're going to call it, but we're going to implement everything later here. And we'll call add another function called add to score. Okay, we'll just simply add that in here. Okay. All right, let's go back up to this touch node logic. So if it's not equal to incorrect, we'll call game over logic. So once game over logic is called, the game is over, and we'll say is alive is equal to false. So we want to make sure that the player is not playing. You can make it is playing. I just tend to use is alive. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to say if touch node dot name is double equal to correct. Okay, so it's funny that we're using not correct, which is the exclamation point, and correct. We're using both of these here. And within that, we'll say add to score, and then we'll randomize colors again. So we add to score, and then we randomize the colors if we want to do that. Now, it's pretty simple when you think about this. If the node name is not correct, then it's going to go do that. If it's not correct, it's going to run this highlighted area. But if it is correct, it will skip that altogether. So this one, talking about code order, this one has to go first. You're more than welcome to switch it around and see if it doesn't work. Okay. So add to score, we're going to say score is equal to score plus 1. And we're going to go to LBL score dot text is equal to score and we'll say that score is score, just like that. Now, if you want to, you can always put it in your own function, update score if you wish. We've been doing that in this tutorial series. You can do that if you want. It's up to you. The reason why we have that function is that later, if you want to add in anything else, you can keep it all in one area. But we need to call it nevertheless. Okay? So we now have, for example, our game over logic. And let's take a look at that before we reset the game. So let's add in another function. We'll say reset the game. And we'll say that this in game over logic will go to LBL main dot font color is equal to off-white color. So we will set it. So sometimes the color might be green, it might be something else. We're going to set it to off-white color, and then we're going to LBL main dot text is equal to, and we'll say game over. Okay, and for the most part, we need to set the timer text. So LBL timer dot text is equal to, we can go call this try again. We can use it for something else. And what we'll do is in this game over logic, we will say square 0 dot remove from parent. And I'm just going to copy all of this right here. Square 1 dot remove from parent, square 2, and square 3. Okay. Now you do need to add in your question marks here, or else it won't work. So what it's going to do is it's going to reset the square here. Now when we reset the game, we're going to have to respawn those squares, but that's not that challenging. Lastly, at the end of this, we're going to reset the game here. But we haven't set up our timer yet, all right? And we're going to do that in the next tutorial.